Coming to you from the historic Hart Building in Marysville, California, in Studio 93, in the Tank with Fish, with your host, Bob Fischetti.
Well, welcome aboard for another adventure into the tank with Fish and Minnow. We're going to be swimming around with a special guest today, someone that we have tried to get on the air for months.
She's very elusive.
She is.
Yeah.
Yeah. There used to be a song called The Elusive Butterfly.
Seriously?
Yeah.
See,
it's actually a good song.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm not matched to your musical knowledge at all. I'm like, tell me a song, and unless you can sing it, I have no idea what song you're talking about.
All right, here we go.
Okay, yes.
Here's a little song I wrote. You might sing it note for note. Don't worry. Come on, you know that.
Be
right?
happy.
Yeah, there
I
you
know
go.
that. Miss Fullen, my second grade teacher, used to play that all the time. Yeah. Don't worry, be happy.
Wow. I'm not going to ask you your age. I'm not going to do that, but I'm very tempted.
Don't ask me my age because I don't remember it. Okay, it's I will be.
Okay, we'll do it this way. What was your favorite band or song in high school?
Oh man, don't ask me that either.
Or just pick one that brings back memory.
We Built This City. It's
I love that song. They say it's the worst song in rock history, and I love that song.
I love that song because of the memories tied to it. So I can remember my best friend's mom. She had one of those old, like, Dodge vans with the double doors on the side, and it opened in the back. So we'd go to, like, the drive-ins, and you could sit in the back and watch a movie. But I can remember cruising with my best friend's mom, and just she loved that song, so just blasting it during the summer. Yeah, so I think it's more memories than the actual song.
I love that it breaks into a radio announcer.
Yeah,
I love that.
I know. Well, and I lived out by the Bay Area, so
Yeah.
But the sad thing is that song is now like a toilet paper commercial theme song that you've redone. I should probably not claim that anymore as my favorite song.
You'll have to move on.
I have, yeah. I'll pick a new one.
So I have to ask you, okay?
Yeah.
I've given up on Cheeto bread.
You should, because I'm just going to surprise you with it. But but it's like it's like if my kids keep asking me for something, they don't get it. But as soon as they stop asking, then I'm like, okay, now maybe I'll surprise.
Well, I figure the boys, right?
I know.
Me and the fellas have been talking.
Right? Yeah.
So I
know what's coming.
I figure you're going to try it on them.
Yes, they'll be the
long
guinea pigs.
before So if it's not good, it's never going to show up. Or the leftovers are going to show up because the boys didn't eat it, right?
Exactly.
Right. But I'm just wondering. I've heard there's garlic bread.
Yes, there's garlic rosemary.
Okay, so can you do garlic with oregano?
Yeah. Ooh. I could do pretty much anything you could dream up.
I'm thinking
garlic and oregano.
Oh, I make this incredible spaghetti sauce.
You keep talking about this sauce.
I just made it again. Patty and I.
That's weird. I didn't get any.
You didn't?
No, it's
well, that's
so weird.
I don't have enough of those little jars.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So spaghetti sauce bread trade is what I heard.
Yeah. No, not a trade.
A sit down?
We'll come together and eat. We will eat.
I'm in.
Yeah.
I think our next guest would also be in on that.
You do?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to find out. All right. So stay with us because we have a great guest coming on, and we can pronounce her last name.
We can. I can.
So we're going to be good on this one. What's her first name?
We can't say.
Stay with us. We're going to be right back. 93Q Radio was an opportunity for what's called an LPFM to give the community a voice.
The big part of what's happening here is it's us. It's the community of us.
The work that Mr. Fischetti has done with us to promote public education has been absolutely groundbreaking.
They have the pulse of our community from the nonprofits to the local governments. If you want to find out what's happening in our community, get on board with 93Q.
And 93Q does so much to help our community, helps us promote our local events, as well as local businesses, and tell our story about what we do here in Yuba Sutter.
The folks that work here, they're part of our community, so they understand our needs, and that's important.
Local radio is so important. During times of emergency, they're there. We lean on them to provide information to our public.
My wife and I are glad to support 93Q. We're going to do it on a monthly basis, but I really recommend that if you want to make your community better, this is a great place to take a first step right here.
So if you can, reach deep into your pocket and give to 93Q.
93Q is a great partner for law enforcement, and they're a great partner for the Yuba Sutter area.
We're really asking people if you can give $10, $15, $20 a month, and then that enables us to continue to put small business spots on the air, nonprofits, organizations that are they're using every dollar they got just to operate, and they don't have extra money to spend on really promoting their cause. And that is why community radio, to me, I'm grateful to be part of it, and that's why it's important.
Welcome back to Fish and Minnow in the Tank with my bestie, who may not know it, but she's my bestie, Kymberly Matta from the Brick. That's actually how you're in my phone. It's just Kymberly the Brick.
Do you do that too?
I do.
Because sometimes I think I'll forget the name, so I put something like that in there.
Yeah, you're
like
Fish
Jeff
Radio.
Stevens still. Jeff Stevens is still Stevens Farmhouse.
Yes.
I don't even know people's first names because I put it in as that or
as who they are.
Journey's friend's mom.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's the worst. And then I'm like, you have to tell me your friend's mom's name because
2 years later.
I don't know it. And then I'm like, oh, I should probably update who it is in my phone. Or they call through and I'm like, I don't know their first name. Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, I've got names that are just first name and nothing else about them. And I don't, it's like.
You should see how many ones I have that are their last name is Bread. Because they order bread. And like if you searched bread in my phone, it's like bread at farmer's market but there are a lot of people with the last name Bread in my phone. Like Patty is Patty Fish and then
Fish
Bread.
bread?
Yeah.
There's no such thing as fish
probably
bread.
change that, but his wife Patty orders bread.
I do know they use dough balls in fishing.
Oh.
So that's
interesting.
Yeah, but she doesn't want to be Patty.
Yeah,
dough ball either.
no.
She's not interested.
No, I'll just Patty, best wife ever.
She is
Tolerates fish.
She's a jewel. Oh, by the way, we have a guest.
I know. Okay.
I'm very
Don't be sassy. Welcome to our show.
So we're going to ask you. It's just about your life, right? So where was Kymberly born and raised?
Born in Yuba City.
What? I didn't know you were a lifer.
Local.
Man.
I grew up in Live Oak, actually. Went to high school there. I moved away for a little while, moved to Sacramento, and then back to Yuba City, and I've been here ever since.
What'd you move to Sacramento for?
Opportunity. No,
just to get away.
Yeah.
Big city.
Yeah, I just kind of wanted to get away and try something different. And I was doing property management there for a minute. So, yeah.
You seem like you'd be good at anything that you do.
Yeah, I try.
I think
Yeah, you do not appear to be somebody that isn't willing to take a challenge.
Yeah.
But you also appear to be somebody that probably takes on too many challenges.
I do, yeah. I've been accused of that.
Have you met her before? What's happening here?
It took me about 10 seconds when I met her when she took over the Brick. I was like, this girl, I'm getting her on the air.
Yeah.
And so that was my original intent, was to actually get you on the air.
Yeah.
And then,
as long as I sit still.
Oh,
no
yeah.
kidding.
I said, she's never stopping.
No.
And so I'd like talk to, what's the, you got two little gals that work there. I always think they're
Liana,
sisters, but they're
probably,
not.
and Veda.
Yeah, Veda. Yeah. And so I'd always tell them, what, does she ever slow down? It's just like, she ever going to. So this is a big deal. We wanted to get you, and then to get you in a tank is even bigger.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fibber, but okay.
No, I really am.
I'll just call
Great
her
space.
And so, all right. So I want to know, what was 12-year-old Kymberly like?
12-year-old Kymberly. I think I was very into sports, very competitive. Yeah, so.
What'd you play?
Everything. I did volleyball And then I was a cheerleader. I did softball. I did stats for basketball because I cheered. And I took dance. Wow. So very active, always on the go. So maybe that's where it started.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't sit still well. But yeah, that was mostly, I had a lot of friends and it was just, I don't know, I guess the wholesome childhood you picture. I just would hang out, go to school, do sports, you know.
Did you do well in school? We have to ask, right?
I know.
I
She
did.
said, "No, I was a flunky."
I was kind of like the teacher's pet when I was growing up. I did do well in school. I think I was more of like a people pleaser when I was younger and aspired to be the best, I guess, then. So I did do well. Not as well in college, but I still did well.
Where'd you go to college?
Yuba, just for 2 years.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
So
Wow,
you said
she is so local. I can't stand it.
I know.
You love
You
it.
are so local.
Trying to get my kids. I'm like, you guys got to go far away. You need to experience things. Not that I regret it, but I just think it's a good experience.
Yeah.
To try something different.
Yeah. Yeah, travel's a good thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So have you ever traveled? I mean, have you ever,
I have.
Did you go to Hawaii? You know,
So for the first time a few years ago, I took my kids. My kids have experienced a lot because we traveled, but more locally. My grandparents are from Washington, so it was a lot of, you know, just within the United States and the West Coast. But I went to Ireland when I was 18 in London.
Wow.
For photography. I was really into that when I was first in college. Excuse me. And then with my kids, we actually just went to the Bahamas on our first cruise. I've never been on one. So, yep, we've done Hawaii. We've done a big East Coast tour. My sister lived in Virginia. So we started
great,
up. We had friends in Boston, and we went to Washington, D.C., New York. We were all over. So
That's awesome.
Yeah, the East Coast is so different. I was born in Brooklyn.
Oh, okay.
And so,
in case you couldn't tell.
Yeah.
what?
Exactly.
I don't know what you're talking about. You do well in Brooklyn. Little bakery on the,
And actually, a big red building.
Oh,
yeah.
We're on D Street.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Right next to you.
Yeah.
You'd be like, well, I got to deliver bread to the Fischetti family. It's called protection bread.
Doing an exchange on the corner.
Plain brown wrapper. And so how many children do you have?
I have 3.
Okay.
Felix, who's 18, Jalen, who's 15, and Journey, who's 11, and thinks she's 18.
One of those. I think we all have one of those that wants to be so much older.
Yeah.
Now you got one that the brain is spinning
constantly.
That he is working it.
Yeah, he's too smart. It's my 12-year-old. No, I mean he also is very smart. But I mean, Oliver is like he's just like a more of a doer. He's always
So
like
impressive.
a step ahead. Yeah,
Tell him.
I just met him and immediately I went, he's like Gary's son Milo. I mean, it's almost like you think, like all those little cartoons, like smoke should be coming out of their ears.
I think there is some days. Yeah.
I love it, though. That's what we want more of.
Yeah.
These days, there's too many kids, you know?
Well, he does both.
Let's get engaged and look outside of the electronics.
So your children are getting up there.
Yes, Felix just graduated high school. Jalen just started high school in Wheatland. And then Journey just started middle school. So
Where's she at?
Twin Rivers Charter in Yuba City.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah. Okay,
they're in all
yeah.
directions.
Driving.
Yes. Well, Jalen's taking the bus now to Wheatland, so that's helpful. Yes, because
What bus?
we're in
I didn't even know there
Olivehurst.
was a bus.
Yeah, they come into Plumas Lake, Olivehurst, and I think all the way into Marysville, maybe.
That's so nice.
Yeah, it's very nice, very helpful.
Yeah, because you're traveling. Okay, so we need to follow up on the sports thing.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So you obviously, yeah.
I just brought all these trophies in her wagon.
Just in case you ask.
Not that they matter to me.
These medals?
I've taught my kids to dust the glass cases. I mean, they're good. So I think you're right. We get involved in things that we find we really, really like. And then there has to be an extension out of them. So it's not like you talk to people all the time that maybe they aspired to be in the Olympics or play professionally or whatever. But sports in general changes us.
I
right?
agree. Mm-hmm.
And so when you look back, what from sports, and maybe even a particular sports, did you carry and say, that works for me now?
I think teamwork in general, or being able to lean on each other and find strengths and what individuals can do well to make the whole better, really carried with me, especially in business and in relationships, to be able to balance that out. So I think that was huge.
I can see that at the Brick.
Yeah.
It's a team. And
Yeah, absolutely.
one day, Stacy was making fun of me because she was trying to talk to me. And I was sitting, I don't often sit, but I was sitting at the end of the kind of the bar thing. And so you could see the kitchen. And it just stopped me in my tracks to see that many people in close proximity moving that smoothly. I mean, it was like watching a dance. It was just crazy. And so she says, you're not listening to me. And I went,
Mesmerized, yeah.
Sidetracked.
And then, of course, it doesn't do any good to try to explain why. You're already too late. You're in deep now. You're done, right?
Yes.
And it's like, but you can see that there. You can see that.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that you see that. It amazes me what they can accomplish, especially back there in that tiny little space, what they can put out and how they can do it. So thank you for acknowledging them.
Yeah,
the whole team, even the front, everyone works really well together. So
It's a well-oiled machine over there. Yeah.
I'm like, what can I do? Do you need me to wash a blender?
I don't want to step on toes, but I kind of work here.
So tell me how Kymberly got in business. You went to college, right? And then you said you traveled, wanted to do photography. But at what point did it click for you? I like business.
I think just being able to be, so I started out, I had sandwich shops like over a decade ago. So I started that actually in Natomas, right where I lived.
How is this possible? How old are I can't ask how old you are, but when what
See,
age
it was bad enough I did
sandwich? Yeah, but I'm a woman. I can ask. What age did you start owning sandwich shops? Maybe that's a nice
25.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were young to be a. Okay, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, no, it's fine. And so it wasn't my own concept or idea. It was a licensing agreement for something that's now a franchise. So I bought into that, and then the location was just a shell, and so everything, it was pretty turnkey. I went in and did that. I think we had that for 7 years, and then while that one was still open, we opened a second location in Yuba City. So I think for me, getting into it though was more being your own boss, knowing that if you work for somebody, you can only go so far or do so much. As if you work for yourself, the harder you work, the more it pays off, I feel like. And so it was being able to do that and set an example and holding myself to a very high standard. I not to brag, but they had like an inspector come around to all the shops. I was the youngest franchisee. No, but I was. And there was like 50 stores, and they came in and she took a bite of a sandwich and she's like, why does this taste so much different here? And I said, I'm crazy. Like that bread will not, it's fresh baked. I won't serve it after 2 hours. You have to have a bite of everything. And I'm just over the top to where I truly care. It's not necessarily just about the bottom line. It's about the experience. It's about that's your name on the wall. That's your reputation.
Yep.
So I actually got out of business and went and started working with the county when I started having children, just because of the balance. I was finding myself torn. My toddler's sitting at a little table in the back, making fake sandwiches on a table and toddling out. And I was like, I'm torn and I need to get my priorities straight. But now that they're older and the opportunity with the Brick presented itself, I thought, this is perfect. You know what I mean? Yeah. I can bring my kids in, show them what it's like to run a business, instill hopefully good work ethic and values. And so that's worked out really well. My oldest has been there as well, but the younger two have really been consistently working. So,
and I think I've seen your kids over there.
Probably, yeah.
But, as open as I am about stuff, I don't go, hey, are those your kids?
Yeah. Feel free.
What's their names?
You're welcome behind the counter. I've said
that. Come get your own
We're
coffee.
All family.
Exactly. They're not making my lemonade fast enough. Yeah. I'm back there, right? It's like, well, it's a very, I'll get to that in a minute, because I do want to talk about the atmosphere that you've created, but I want to go back to the county.
Okay.
Right? Mm-hmm. And so you ended up going to work for the county. Was there were you looking for a particular job, or were you just looking to move away from owning your own business?
Kind of both. So I sold the business and I was pregnant with my second child. And so I had like 6 months off, which I had never really taken time off trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And then I, at that point, just thought I just need a good steady job with benefits so I can clock out and not take it home with me and focus on my kids. And then there was a position at the county, and then I found myself there.
So it really it changed your whole lifestyle.
It did.
Because when you own your own business, nobody eats, sleeps, and drinks it like you do, right?
Exactly.
And it's always trying to develop people that will. Yeah. Yeah.
But do you ever clock out even when you have a clock out job? Because I feel like yours and my brain are the same. So even at home, you're like, oh, I'm just going to send this quick email.
Exactly. I clocked out from there. It's different now. My position with the county's changed a little, so it does feel a little more like owning a business, I guess, the area that I'm overseeing. So I have my phone on me 24/7. I was getting texts last night, but it's different. You know, you feel differently. I don't know. And with food's crazy. So it's just a whole different ballgame, you know? Yeah. So.
Well, and that particular place has had a reputation. And as much as I loved Don and just thought, man, I love that place. And he had really established it. And then Heather took it, and it didn't even miss a beat.
Right. Yep.
And then you took it. And I mean, it was like that. I mean, I realized it was a time frame, but it just seemed like it was like overnight, like, who's Kymberly?
Yeah.
It's like, who's this girl, right? You know?
Snuck in.
But it's actually, it seems to me, it's becoming something that is a now place.
Awesome.
So it's had its history, right?
Yeah.
But it's becoming a now. That's why I want to do a live show there.
Yeah,
because of that.
Please do anytime.
Yeah.
I will give you guys keys. I've already.
She offers all the time. She's like, you want to come sell your bread here? I'll give you keys. Just open the door.
You know what it is? It's like I tried to get her, and she played hard to get. So I'm good.
So you sent me. Oh, now you're playing hard to get?
Yeah.
Oh, geez. You're not good at this. He'll be there tomorrow to film a show.
We have this little upstairs area, like where you can store things. You can be up there. We can get very creative.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
See? You didn't even know.
Or the
it's
stage.
a secret space.
Up to you.
Yeah. I know.
I love the atmosphere there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I have a complaint.
Please share.
Only one. I know. We got to do this.
Go ahead.
So when you sit in the bay window, that seat's not comfortable.
Oh, okay. I can fix that.
That's it. That's it. Everything else I love.
You might be at the age where you just start bringing your own cushion around places.
No, I do think we need some cozy coffee shop seating. So, Melissa with the honey barn in the backyard.
Yeah.
Right next to me, I had her come over and she's looking at the space. And I told her we do need like a cozy little corner. And so she's working on some.
That's where my kids always pick to sit. Oliver's always like,
really?
we're sitting in the corner.
It's perfect.
In the window.
Yeah, in the window.
Yeah, I love that.
Yes, but if they're on the stage area, if there was a cozy little chair and you could face outside, how perfect, especially if it's raining. And
Yes.
That's where we put the Christmas tree. Just so cozy.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
I love your outside.
Thank you. I can't take credit for it, but thank you.
I love the
trying
front.
to keep the plants alive.
Yeah.
You're doing a good job.
Thank you.
So it's not just the alleyway, breezeway, whatever you want to call that. That's really nice. But you guys started putting stuff out front.
Right.
And I love that because I love that sense of being on the street.
Yes.
Right. It's very European, you know, and I think the Brick has, for lack of a better term, influence in where food's going to go on D Street. We need more eateries.
I agree. Yeah.
And more options to do that, right?
You have no idea how happy you just made her heart.
I know. But I did want to say, I think Heather was the one that kind of started that.
Yeah.
With COVID, that seating started, and we've just continued it. So I think she did have that vision as well. And so, but 100%, that's the more the merrier. I'm constantly trying to, people are like, how do you feel about competition? I'm like, it's not competition.
No.
Please come. We all need to be here. It'll bring more of a crowd. We'll feed off of each other.
Yeah.
Go have lunch over there, then get a coffee, then walk around, have ice cream at this shop I created in my mind. That's right there.
So Kelly and I are going to buy the place across the street.
Oh, this is new to me.
Well, I already told her all my plans for it, so we're set.
Oh, no. So I was thinking, right? And you make really good bread. So we turned it into
I do make bread.
The big bread building.
The big bread building.
That's what we call it.
Yeah, we
the
have
big
to.
bread building. And so we
I
only.
need more time now that I'm here.
Yeah,
So-
he was like, wait, he could not remember. I don't know that Kymberly's seen this. So he could not remember what a bakery was. So he's like, a big bread building. I'm like, also known as a bakery, but yeah, we'll run with that. A big bread building. So,
You would
yeah.
think it's easy, but I get going sometimes, and I'm like, so that word's going, right?
Yeah.
I don't need it. I'll
Not
just
from
make
the
up
oven.
something else.
Smells
Yeah, exactly. We're playing charades all the time.
And so as a sub deal, right? So it's the big bread building that serves Mama Fischetti spaghetti.
I love it.
Yeah.
And maybe a deli.
Yeah.
If you're kind of feeds off of that.
Yeah. I'm in.
we are-
I'm in. You just have to buy the building.
Yeah, we already said
I'll
it
bake there.
to everyone that's happening. So
You did what?
I look forward to you closing on that deal.
Yeah, we call it Dipsy's.
Yeah.
Do you even know who owns that?
The one immediately across that says coming soon.
Yeah, it says it says it's going to be a food place.
I do know. I met the owner and I got
Okay.
a tour. So I can tell you more about that later if you want. I know
Yeah.
he's looking. I don't know how quickly it's moving forward until there's an interested party that's going in there. I was under the impression it was already happening, but that's not the
Okay,
case.
we're on the same page.
Yeah.
That's really where I was going with that.
Yeah.
Is somebody there? They already planned for somebody to come in. That's totally different.
Last I
Right.
heard, which was a few months ago, not yet. So
Yeah.
he was trying to get me to go in there, and I said, let me get this figured out first.
But has he met Fischetti spaghetti?
I did. Yeah, so I blew it. I made this sauce. The sauce I make is my great grandmother's recipe from Italy, and the sauces they're very simple. It's tomatoes, okay, and they call it gravy, and
Angie, where's Angie?
Yeah, I know.
Sunday
Andy's
gravy.
gonna
She
watch
talks about it all the time. You guys might have to have a little sauce competition.
and so
Sauce off.
Yes.
as it's come down the line, everybody changes it a little. Like my son Pablo's sauce is different than mine, right? But we used to tell my wife all the time, Mama Fischetti spaghetti, baby, this will work.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, she wouldn't buy into it. So we take a long time to cook the sauce. Everything has to blend.
Yes.
right?
Definitely.
And so I don't know if commercially, can you do
just
that?
keep it constantly going. It's like sourdough. You have to constantly be feeding your starter. It would be the same thing with sauce. You start Monday's sauce on Saturday, and then you just keep a constant rotation of sauce. It works in my head.
Like a once a month event.
Works in my head.
You could do something at the Brick. You could do once a month, and we could have a big pasta night or something.
With Fischetti spaghetti
Yes.
night.
Just find out.
do pasta.
Find out if
Yeah.
people like it.
Yeah.
'Cause my family likes it, but it's my family. So it's like,
Is Patty standing there like, how do you like that spaghetti? And everyone's like, it's so good, Mom.
I know.
no,
I
she
volunteer
likes
to
the way I make spaghetti sauce. I don't even know the last time she's made it.
Man.
Yeah, she's just kind of.
Well, Kymberly and I don't even know what it tastes like. So unless you're inviting us over for dinner,
Yes.
This could
I
happen.
cannot vouch for it until I
you can't have our endorsement until we've tasted it.
You're not eating that. My bread is not going with that.
Yeah, not until I've had it.
We're not serving it over there either.
Yeah. No, it's not
Make it happen.
So you ended up at the airport actually
Yes.
by default because
Yes.
you were working for the county, but you appear to really love it. You see something out there, and I
do.
I did interviews out there when I was on talk radio, and I love that airport. There is something about it, right? And so, how did that happen, Kymberly? You ended up over there.
Well, I started with the county in 2012, and I can't remember when I moved. I think 2018, I moved to Admin Services, which is the government center building, and Administrative Services oversaw the airport. And they had a longtime airport manager that had retired. And so they had just placed a new airport manager that ended up not staying. And I was doing fiscal responsibilities in that department. And so I was billing tenants at the airport for hangars, for land, for whatever their contracts were for, leases were for. And so when she left, they basically said, no one's out at the airport. You know more about the airport than anyone, so you go out there. So I would go out there from 8 to 12, and then I would come back in and work in the government center or admin services for the rest of the time. And that worked for a while. And then they hired an airport manager, which is Jason. And then right after that was COVID. So then he worked on a different project and it got kind of fuzzy. So it was kind of part-time here and there for a little bit. And then the airport moved under community development, which is where it really should be with public works and departments that can better support it. So then I went out full-time. And like I said, it's like running a business. I had already known everyone and established relationships. And I think communication was really lacking out there and enthusiasm. And they were just kind of letting it die, for lack of a better word. Pilots were getting older, moving on, and there was no real draw to come here or bring new, energy, new pilots to the airport. So, just connecting with the businesses there, trying to bring awareness. I've gone and spoken at schools. About because you so many people that work for the county, like I was mentioning earlier, and even live in Olivehurst don't realize there's an airport there. Planes are flying in and out, but they're kind of oblivious as to, I didn't realize they land somewhere. Yeah. So it's just making people realize, look at this gem that we have and the opportunity that we have. Yeah. And, to let kids realize it's so close and there's so many opportunities if you have an interest in aviation and you want to do something, on the mechanical side or if you want to fly. So.
Yeah, we've had people in, I've had them on the air to talk about how the younger generation hasn't really moved towards private plane ownership or getting a pilot's license. And it is pricey, but there is ways that you can make that happen and get your pilot's license. And then I think it's the cost of the plane, but you can rent planes. There are places that rent planes. Yes. So a lot of the obstacles to that, I think once the kids, I know you guys have, I think it's called Eagles something.
Yeah, Young Eagles.
Young Eagles. Yes. And where a kid can go out there. Ooh, I know some kids that have a great time.
They currently do at the Sutter County
Airport. That would be it. He would be building a plane in the garage, in the big bread building.
Yes. Yeah, you need a hangar in the building.
Maybe a helipad on top of your
And so yeah, I can see where that's been a shift for that. And then so you're not the airport manager then. So they hired a manager to run the airport or manage the airport. So do you still do all the contracts and all the other businesses that are connected out there? Is that what you?
Pretty much, yeah. So the two of us are in the office most of the time. After taking over the Brick as of January, I went part-time so I could try to better balance the two. So it's been a little more challenging only being out there 4 hours. But like I said, I'll go out there sometimes in the evening or on a weekend, or if somebody calls or needs something. It really is kind of like a family or running a business. So Jason actually just got a new role within the county, so he still oversees the airport, so I'm not sure how things are going to look going forward, but currently both of us are out there. And I do still work with the contracts. I work with the tenants. If somebody moves out, I get somebody else in there, manage the waiting list. So, yeah, pretty much everything that I was doing before, grants.
All the land is owned by the county?
Most of the land is owned by the county. At one point, a lot of parcels were sold off, so we don't own as much as we used to, but it's still a huge amount of acreage that we have. So still a lot of opportunity to do something out there. Continue to grow.
Great place for the restaurant.
I know. There is a restaurant building, and at one point there was a restaurant. And I have the old menu. So
that's cool. Yeah. Well, I can remember, like I told you, I flew with this guy. He flew me everywhere. And I found out that pilots I didn't know they did this. They literally...
$100 hamburger.
Yes, exactly. They will literally we'd go fly to a restaurant and just have a hamburger and hang out. Yep. And I was amazed how many restaurants there are with little airports and how many really nice restaurants there are at airports. Just depends on the airport and the traffic, right?
Exactly.
And so it's like, it is an attraction. It is an attraction, the $100 hamburger. That's funny. I haven't heard that in a while.
It's probably a $300 hamburger now. But
yeah.
The cost of fuel.
The cost of fuel is going up. Yeah, we used to be able to buy fuel at the airport, and then they changed that. But because of the high octane, I used to run it in my hot rod.
Yeah.
So we'd go out there and fill up. It was pricey, but it was, hey,
Yep.
you know.
Yeah, we still have people trying to sneak in and do that.
Do they? We have a little app.
But I think I'm airport security, so I go running out with my fake badge. And
Exactly. Those sticker badges.
They're like, I'm like, just go.
Just go. I said no.
Yeah.
So I have to ask, why the brick? Why? How did that even happen?
So Jason knew Heather, and Heather expressed an interest in transitioning away from the brick. And so she was asking, is there anybody that that, fits what I'm looking for somebody to take over? And he said, the only person I can think of is Kymberly. And so he told me, and me with my plate, I'm like, well, it's already... Sure, let's do something else. So
I can go up. I can't go out, but I can pile.
Yeah. So I just started thinking, you know what, this is an opportunity. Like you were talking about community, that's kind of a big part of it was where, like Cheers back in the day, everybody knows your name. So I really wanted to focus on customer service and quality of food, just because I think those are two things that are lacking more and more in the industry.
Yep.
So I thought, okay, it's a small town. I want to bring some life back to downtown Marysville. It's already been a year. I keep saying, it's just in October. And I just realized we're almost to the year. Yeah. So, or it's been a year. So focusing on community. And when somebody walks in the door, especially these days, you don't know what somebody's going through, what kind of day they're having. Yeah. So can we make their day a little better? Can we brighten it up? And we're human. Nobody's perfect, but we do our best every day. So the girls have been amazing. Take the time to go sit with somebody. I really want to have a big community table where we've had some big dinners too to bring people together. But just on the daily to have a place where everyone can sit and maybe chat, get some work done, whatever it is that you feel like you need. I want you to come in and feel that. So I know we're still working on it. We're not, like I said, always perfect, but we're definitely trying to make sure it's a place that everyone feels welcome, safe, comfortable, and can get something good to eat.
Yeah.
Something really good to eat. You guys have been slowly but surely revamping the menu.
Yes.
I think carefully, not to make too many major changes.
Yeah.
But you can tell, and it's not to knock anyone that's had the brick before, but you can tell the quality of food has improved, is different.
Yeah, so I didn't want to make too many waves or freak anyone out, because it has been there. I want, for 2 decades doing well. So people come in and they know what they want. But ingredients-wise, quality of what we're bringing in wise, adding a few new menu items, adjusting some that need adjusting, we're still working on that. So yeah, we truly have done a lot, and I think come a long way. Yeah. So, down to the lemonade that you mentioned earlier, it's fresh squeezed every day.
Yeah.
The gravy's made fresh every day, so it's from scratch. So it's just, that's what I really like. Just, I want people to eat better, to feel better, a better quality of life all around. So if you surround yourself with good people and you're putting good food in your body, it's a good start.
It's always been a kind of a business connecting. It's the place to go connect.
Yes.
And so it's always had that. It just seems like it's expanding. It's almost as though you could use another building.
We've talked about it.
He's really trying to push this other building for you.
I don't want to say it here, but I feel like we should talk after, because I do have some ideas.
Well, I just think that I know not everybody will agree with me, and I really don't care. Okay, and this is why I don't care. There's always naysayers.
Right.
Okay, so I probably view Marysville differently because I believe it's on the upturn. And so, regardless of the hotel fire and other things that are happening, right, economy, I don't want to hear it, because you can feel the change, and I recognize it, right? And so it's that is the opportunity. In the advertising business, they tell you don't wait till you don't have customers and then advertise.
Right, exactly.
You move when, right? And this is such a time to move. I love all the little young entrepreneurs that have come down on D Street. Chris, who just did the barber shop, and we actually went over there. Oh, and it was fun. We filmed it. We were sitting here, and then we went over there and filmed it. It was cool. Yeah, we should have done that with a brick. And so, except for it cause havoc,
Yeah, seriously.
You're welcome anytime.
But I feel that way. I feel like it's the right time and the right place. And I love all the little businesses that are opening, and it's kind of revitalized some of the other ones that have been there. They're feeling it. Mm-hmm. And I just think we're like on the cusp of that. And so I remember Pluma Street, and I was walking down Pluma Street, and somebody said to me, they said, "Fish, you belong on Pluma Street." And I'm thinking, what? And they said, "Yeah, you belong on Pluma Street." And at that time, I was thinking about doing a spaghetti place, and that's it, spaghetti, right? One meal, right?
Yes.
That's
Keep it simple.
Yeah,
Do
you're
it
not
well.
coming here for anything else. It's about the sauce. Maybe on Sundays we do lasagna.
Oh man, I love lasagna.
I know.
Because once you make the sauce, the rest of it is a cakewalk.
Man,
It's
now I'm
about
really
the-
hungry.
We didn't talk about that. I'm such a foodie, so I'm starving now.
Yeah, but
Yeah, totally. I mean, we're all going to the
Picturing
break
it,
after.
salivating.
Yeah.
I need lasagna.
So I looked at Pluma Street and I thought, well, you really don't have anything. You had the town pump and the spur and the movie theater was gone, and then you had the underground record store at the other end. And then Happy Viking went in. And to me, it was the equivalent of having an anchor store in a mall.
Oh, yes.
Once the anchor went in, the rest of it's a no-brainer. And so I see, when I look at D Street, I see it developing slightly different in that the little arms, the little side streets, the little other things that connect to it, have businesses as well. So I see it more like an area than a street.
Yes, I agree.
Right? So it's an area. And so I'm beginning to sense and realize, man, people must be seeing that because little businesses are going in and they're working.
Yes.
And so it's like, okay, so do we need an anchor or do we just need a cooperative effort?
Cooperative effort, 100%.
Yeah.
I love it.
I think though, that you are like unique in that you're such a community like champion. Like when you say, and I know you on a personal level, but like when Kymberly says like, no, everybody come. Like I want everyone to do well. Like you're not competition.
Yes.
You're,
Yes.
she like with anything like, oh, I mean, I bake bread and scones and she's like, oh no, like put your scones in, even though they have scones, it's like, it's that kind of like, no, let's all work and do better together for the good of the community.
Yes.
Like that to me is huge.
Yeah. Thank you.
I share your vision.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you can share it too if you want. Spaghetti, fischetti.
Yeah. It's the thing. It's happening.
Even now lasagna is happening. Forget spaghetti. You said lasagna. That's all I can think about now.
I don't
It's
want to go any
turning.
further, but yeah. I'm going to have to make lasagna. That's
you are.
easier. Spaghetti, right? Because if you don't cook the noodles right, I'm just saying. There's a
You just
reason.
throw 'em
why-
You
against
should
the
do
wall.
a cooking show, a cooking episode. You could do it at the break.
I told him that we should do a cooking episode.
And I'll eat it. for you.
Yes. Okay. And you could be our panel.
Yeah,
judge.
yeah, we have
our
the-
panel
One-person
judge.
judge.
Yes. I mean,
that's-
you were in that pie eating contest and you killed it.
How come we have rib cook-offs, chili cook-offs? How come we don't have spaghetti cook-offs?
I don't know.
Different spaghetti sauces,
We
different
could
way
do first
people make
annual if you want.
Do it. Angie would enter. You could enter.
it. Oh, I'm entering.
Yeah. Oh, you're already in.
My son would enter.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is happening. When are we doing a spaghetti cook-off?
And then you could do a spaghetti eating contest. That would look amazing.
It's got to be kids. No one wants to see adults do that.
Normally they only
hilarious.
do bibs with ribs.
Yeah, you need a spaghetti
We're doing
bib.
spaghetti bibs,
Yeah.
right?
I always tell the kids spaghetti is not a first date food. Just so you know, when you go on your first date, spaghetti is not a first date food.
Very true.
So we kind of jumped into the future.
Yes.
With you, you're pretty astute. You do get it, right? And so you're moving at a blur. And so unless somebody sits down with Kymberly, they'll never know you
That's kind of, yes, I would agree.
because you're such a blur. But she's an enjoyable blur.
Very
Did
enjoyable.
I say it right?
Yes. Yes.
why
It was a compliment. You're an enjoyable blur.
I've never been called that, but I'm fine with it.
Blob, he called you a blur.
He's getting a shirt, the
way.
enjoyable
The
blur.
enjoyable
The enjoyable blur.
But it has to be like blurred.
I know.
The word is blurred, right? Like they did.
Like you're running.
Yeah.
She is constantly going though, like constantly. And I loved earlier you said, I must have been a people pleaser when you were little. I'm like, does that mean you're recovering now? Because I feel like you're still a little bit of a people pleaser.
I feel different in the sense that I feel like I do what I think is right as opposed to what I think should be right or is right in the eyes of others. I do what I feel is, so that's kind of what I meant. But I definitely want to create something or keep growing something that people will love and enjoy as much as I love and enjoy having it for them.
Mm-hmm.
There is a principle of leadership. It's actually a biblical principle. And we don't necessarily follow it. And our leadership style in America is very authoritarian. I'm in charge. You guys, I write your paycheck. Do what I tell you to do. The Japanese have a different style. I lived there for 3 years. So our governmental style that we use here and our corporate style is, I want to see the figures be more than they were last year at this month. Mm-hmm. So everything is based on, right? Mm-hmm. So we don't see it as prospering unless we can compare to last year and then we go it.
Right.
But the Japanese believe in a more agricultural thing. There's a time for plowing. There's a time for sowing the seed. There's a time for watering the seed. And then there's a time to reap the harvest. So they consequently will take longer. And in management, the biblical example is we talk about in a church that there's deacons, elders, and then a bishop. And then so we look at that as a governmental structure that was established. But the bishop was actually first among equals. And the very first place that you see that is when Paul goes to Jerusalem to talk to him, right? And then James is the first bishop of Jerusalem. So they all went in and said, hey, this is what we think. And then James says, okay, then this. In other words, it was consensus, right? So he was willing to listen to everybody. And then he says, we are saying this. See, so he's first, but he's among equals.
Yeah.
And you seem to be that way. You seem very consensus that it's not just about Kymberly. You do hear the people that work for you and work around you.
Absolutely.
And you like that. You like that consensus. And to me, that's the direction business is going to have to take to be successful in this day and age, because the day of the one-man show or the day of the, hey, I'm in charge, get over it. I realize there's a time to say, look, I'm the boss. You can't come to work late 27 times with a different excuse each time.
Right.
You
hear
and
that.
so, yeah. So you're not working here anymore. And so I get that, right? And but that is not the same as a leadership that can project the future and allow the employees to be part of that future. And you're very much that way. I noticed that very early on with the way you act with the girls.
Thank you. Yes.
And so
I appreciate that.
So although I called you, what'd I call her?
A blur.
Yeah. I already got confused. I thought it was a blob, but it's
It's fine. It's fine.
think
It's fine.
moved on.
Shirt.
We've moved on from blob to blur. You're really, although you're moving quickly, you are connected. But I still think to really get to know Kymberly, you're going to have to take time.
I agree.
You are not an overnight get to know me. How long have you known her?
Overnight, basically.
I met her yesterday.
Yeah, this is our
But
first
we're
time
women,
sitting
so
down. we just like vomit everything in our lives in about 40 minutes, and then we're good to go. No, I mean, we talk on the phone frequently. We run into each other, deliveries.
Oh, that's right. You have your bread and your scones.
Yes. So she pulled us in as a local business, which
we're
is
supporting
amazing.
several local businesses currently, and I'm very happy to do so. But I was going to say, I think that happens quickly, or at least with Kelly and I. I think I'm so genuine, but we are, I think. And so I think that you make that connection a lot more quickly, and you don't, I don't know, the surfacey stuff isn't there. There's no superficial, just get
There's
right
no
to it.
time or room for it. I'm like, I don't have
there's no
time for
apologies. I'm like,
superficial.
let's be direct. This is how I am. She's the same way. And there's an appreciation and respect. And and I love her so much.
I love it too. Normally we're like 3 minutes into a conversation. I'm like, oh yeah, good morning. She's like, oh yeah, good morning.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, by the way.
Yes.
I forget, like, fundamental like manners sometimes. But yeah, no, I love what you guys are building.
Thank you.
I see it, and I couldn't be more proud of you.
And thank you for being a part of it. I told her one time, she's like, I see things. And I'm like, I see things too. And she's like, what if I see things? I'm like, go back and fix things. Do whatever you want.
Yeah,
so she's like,
so
is it okay that I'm in? I'm like, yes, it is. If you want the case a certain way, please do the case a certain way.
Like, I loaded your bakery case this morning. She's like, oh, thanks. I'm like, well, it needed to be loaded. So I just stepped behind the counter and did it.
No, and I really it really is just a big team and growing, and you can do so much more. You know what I mean? You can accomplish so much more. And then you have that shared vision, and it's not just let me dictate what needs to happen. It's no, and a lot of other people have better ideas than I do, so.
That's
but I think
consensus.
You have that vision of, of what it can be, what you can build here. And I mean, like little things, like she came to market and I was like, oh, you have to meet Dorothy. She owns Always Fresh, Always Organic. And she was like, okay, I'm going to go meet her right now. And so like those connections in the community to small farms and smaller businesses, and then bringing them in and giving them a platform. Like if you've only had store-bought, like mellow orange tomatoes, you've never had a real fresh organic tomato, like that, to me, you're changing the way people see food, which I think is
hope.
So cool.
Yes.
Yeah, you're going to be a Blue Zones restaurant if you're not already.
We are.
Well, there you go.
And I love them. They're so great to work with. They've been awesome.
Aren't they? That whole thing is just awesome to me, And so all right, so I have to go here, okay? So.
Oh, what? No, I just was getting comfortable.
Yeah.
About to get sweaty.
So if I said to Kymberly, tell me a place where it was absolutely just the greatest joy of your life. When that happened, you knew it had changed you. That event, that single event, changed your life.
Probably having my son and then having a family after that. It just kind of changes your focus on what's important. So creating it, not to get too deep, but it makes you think like of the world we're living in and the world we're leaving for the next generation. And even with our to-go containers, they're like, we care about composting. We care about what we're putting out into the environment. So it just kind of makes you think it's not just about me in the moment. It's about what am I doing for the future? How am I going to leave my mark? I'm not here to make as much money as I can. I'm here to hopefully, make things better for the people around me, the community, my children, and then generations after us.
You and I would get along absolutely perfectly.
I think we do.
I already saw it.
Because
Welcome to the show.
Well, it happened with Kelly. I interviewed her and I just went, I want this girl to do this. I believe in her. I could see what she had done, and then it was like, so I followed her all the way downstairs.
So he stalked me until I said yes. But you know what Kurt was pointing out earlier?
It's only stalking.
I know, it's only stalking. It doesn't say "and Minnow" on our logo.
Why?
So I don't know. I'm just saying, it's just the fish show. I'm just.
You have your cup. I do see the
here. I had to make it. I had to make it. It's not like you made my cup.
It's Sharpied down the side.
Yeah, exactly.
She had to make my cup.
I did. I made her cup too.
But I sense this kindred, and it makes me wonder how much that's rising up in our community, that, look, we really are in this together. I don't need the media to beat me to death, because now the media is doing more to divide us than it is to connect us, except for 93Q.
Well, you guys are different.
We're unique.
Yeah.
And so I love your consensus thinking. We're a team. You define it as team.
Yes.
And so I love that, and that you're working. So it's not just the team at the Brick or the team at the airport. It's a team in the community. It's a team on D Street and Marysville. And the whole thing. And I don't think it's an accident that you had worked for the county so you could see the bigger picture, even in that, right?
Right.
And now it's just a matter of what door is going to open next for Kymberly, right? Which could be
Fischetti spaghetti.
Sounds like it's across the street.
So because you empty.
So excited.
I wonder if this is going to go with her sports trophies.
Oh, I don't know. I don't
I'm going to
know.
knock them off the shelf. It's just
Make space.
thank you.
So anybody that braves the tank gets a cup.
I appreciate it. I'm very excited. I'm going to have to go for a set now.
And
Come back on again.
well, we had my administrative gal has come up with an idea. What would happen? We've got 93 cups that say I'm cued in.
Oh, okay.
What would happen if those were a cup that was used for coffee at the Brick?
I would love that. That would be amazing.
Oh, we are so talking to her after
Yes.
this. We're going to talk to Stacy. That was her idea. She
Yes.
came up with that.
Yeah.
We had a maid. She did it, right? And then she said, this should be like at a restaurant.
It makes my heart so happy.
And you were the first one I thought about. I
Thank
said,
you.
I drink coffee out of one of my cups, right, at the Brick.
Yeah.
I would be like,
I'm kind of a coffee mug snob. I will actually travel with a coffee mug to places. Like my first cup of the day, I want in a mug, and I want a good mug. Yeah, so it's that same thing.
well, these work good. I was kind of amazed, but I remember that restaurants used to have, they were a smaller cup, but they were thick.
Yeah.
So that when they put the coffee in it, it stayed hot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Kymberly, thanks for
Thank
coming
you,
on.
guys.
You were worth waiting for.
Oh, thank
you were absolutely worth waiting.
Appreciate it.
The blur worth waiting for.
The blur worth waiting for. That's a new shirt. I got
Shirt.
it.
There
I
it
am the
is.
blur worth waiting for. And so, yeah. So we're going to do something else. I can tell. I just don't know what it is, but we will.
Okay. Well, I'm excited.
But man, I just appreciate you taking the time. I know you're very busy, and to be able to take an hour or so out to do this. And then I did not know that you two were besties. That was
We are. Yeah.
yeah. Any day.
She didn't know either, but we are.
It's like two blurs.
Oh, no, I know.
It's like we're the blur girls. We're the blur twins or something.
You know how it is. You just like you meet someone, and you're like, oh, my soul sees your soul. Like, yeah.
She
You
gets
know
me
how it is.
when I come
Yeah.
in tires screeching to pick up an order and she hurls a scone in the window for me. I'm like, thank you.
Yeah.
That's breakfast and lunch right there.
Got it.
We're the same person. We're constantly moving.
And the best scone I've ever had.
Thank you.
Well, you know what? I felt like there was a lot more we could talk about.
I know. Maybe we could have a sit down at the Brick again and visit more.
Yeah. And talk about our future.
Yeah.
Is there a future? There must be.
There's got to be.
All right.
I have some big ideas.
She's got big ideas.
She has a
And it
lot of big
includes
ideas.
us. We get to be part
You
of
could be
it.
part of it.
All right. Am I in the right camera there? And so I just checking. Kurt has to really work with us.
Kurt is like a babysitter.
He deserves a loaf of bread,
He does. Are you going to
a
make
jug
him
of
one?
wine, and thou. Huh?
Are you going to make him one?
Spaghetti
Yes.
sauce. I could do that. Oh, you should get like a bread slicer.
I have one. It's right here.
Oh, yeah. That's the kind I use. I like it because I can make them any slice. Anyway, so listen, we we got to get out of here. We would have kept Kymberly for a week. I feel like you are very deep, right? You're not just surface, but you move so quickly that we need more time.
Yes.
Let's put on the scuba gear. We're going in.
I'm in. I'm in for it.
All right. So we're going to have Kymberly. I haven't said this before. have
No,
I?
you haven't.
Oh.
Whoa.
We're
Okay, go
stuck.
ahead. You're already in.
Too late, right?
You're in.
Okay, so we're going to have Kymberly back, and the reason we're going to do it is because there is a lot of Kymberly, and we barely.
With you. She calls you a blur. It's a blob. Now there's a blur of you.
I'm going to need therapy. After
Yeah, I know. Right? Next time we'll have a couch
That's
when you
what I
come
was
on.
gonna
We'll
ask
actually
for.
just
I need to lay
unpack
down.
everything that we
was
packed
for.
last time.
So then, now I totally forgot I had some on my mind.
I don't know.
This is way more
So-
than I anticipated.
Makeup.
Whatever I was going to say, I was going to say it. And so,
Yeah, it was already out.
So we're going to have her back because I really feel like we barely slowed the blur down.
Yes.
That's what I was going to say.
That works.
And so we're going to slow her down next time, and we're going to find out why it is that she has the attitude that she has towards other people. We already got a glimpse into it, that she got teamwork from sports, but I have a feeling there's a whole lot more to Kymberly Matta than we have touched.
I would agree.
All right. All right, we'll be right back, and then we're going to talk about how wonderful Kymberly is, but with her not being here. 93Q Radio was an opportunity for what's called an LPFM to give the community a voice.
The big part of what's happening here is it's us. It's the community of us.
The work that Mr. Fischetti has done with us to promote public education has been absolutely groundbreaking.
They have the pulse of our community, from the nonprofits to the local governments. If you want to find out what's happening in our community, get on board with 93Q.
And 93Q does so much to help our community, helps us promote our local events, as well as local businesses, and tell our story about what we do here in Yuba Sutter.
The folks that work here, they're part of our community, so they understand our needs, and that's important.
Local radio is so important during times of emergency. They're there. We lean on them to provide information to our public.
My wife and I are glad to support 93Q. We're going to do it on a monthly basis, but I really recommend that if you want to make your community better, this is a great place to take a first step right here.
So if you can, reach deep into your pocket and give to 93Q.
93Q is a great partner for law enforcement, and they're a great partner for the Yuba Sutter area.
And we're really asking people if you can give $10, $15, $20 a month, and then that enables us to continue to put small business spots on the air, nonprofits, organizations that are they're using every dollar they got just to operate, and they don't have extra money to spend on really promoting their cause. And that is why community radio, to me, I'm grateful to be part of it, and that's why it's important. All right, we're back, and it's Fish and Minnow. I just love Minnow. I just want to go on record as saying, aww. I really do.
Aww,
you are a blast. You are an absolute blast. You're fun, right?
Thank you.
And so we were talking about when I met you, and we did the interview, and we just had, Kymberly is like you, but not like you. You guys have your personality.
You just asked if we had the same mom.
Yeah, you guys could definitely be sisters, no question.
Thank you for the compliment.
No question.
Yeah.
Right. And I absolutely love the way she thinks.
Yeah.
That girl.
And she's so genuine. Like, I know we say this about people, but I know her a little bit more, as time's gone on. And she really is so genuine. She does not have. Oftentimes you meet other business owners, and at first they may seem a certain way, and then in time you kind of see through it, and it's like, oh, there's the real you.
Yeah.
No.
Have you seen the real me yet?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh.
That's why I'm always like, bless his heart.
I've seen it.
Yeah, I've seen it, and I still love you.
There's nothing left. It's good now, right?
It's all perfect.
Well,
but she really is like, what you see is what you get with her. She is genuine. She cheerleads for other businesses, and she has this vision of what downtown Marysville and of what the Brick can be. And she's not just saying it, she's doing it. She's bringing in local farmers. She's bringing in local coffee companies. She's doing all these things that, aren't necessarily to her benefit, but that benefit us as a whole, as a community.
I think it's where it's like I felt an immediate connection with you, like a kinship, right?
Yeah.
That I felt like Kelly understands what I'm trying to do.
Totally.
I didn't mean to get emotional, but it's important to me.
Yeah, I see it.
And I just felt that way about Kymberly.
Yeah.
She gets what I'm trying to do because she's trying to do the same thing.
Yeah.
And it's like we're all on the same page, and it matters to me.
It really does.
I can't help it. I know God put me in radio and put me in Marysville. It's not that I don't love Yuba City. I live in Yuba City. But I don't know, maybe I'm quote unquote for the underdog.
Yeah.
But when people would talk about D Street, I'd hear them and there'd be things, I get it. Or they'd talk about Marysville and I'd go, I get it. But that was then. Yeah. I want to know now. And I want to know, I love these young entrepreneurs. Yeah. I'm trying to get more connected because I want to promote what they're doing. Yeah. David and Denise Landis, and I can't remember the folks' names, the young couple that started Palermo's, and it's like, and they're just all these ones. I wanted to say Melissa, who has a honey barn and has that, right, and Damona, who's got an older shop. But just great stuff in there. Just really.
Well, in the Zapata,
I just bought a piano from there.
Yeah. Well, the Zapata's just got the butcher shop. So now there's new people in the butcher shop. I think there's new life being brought to downtown, and I think when people have the same vision and genuinely want everyone else to do good, I think that's where you see change and growth. From that,
there was only one radio station in Marysville, and I was on it, and it was KMYC 1410. It was AM, and it was a talk radio, and I was doing a music program, and I just thought there can be more. Yeah. And then I got offered this, and it's an LPFM, and it's like, this is exactly what I want to do. Yeah. And now we got a podcast room, and I have a podcast partner.
I know.
And we're getting to do something that makes a difference. And we were supposed to be talking about.
I know, we get sidetracked. We are like squirrel. You cannot. I'm supposed to be keeping you on track, but I'm like, yes.
Yeah, well, we're not getting a shirt that says squirrel and beagle. We're getting two that say squirrel.
Squirrel and squirrel.
And she's getting blur.
Squirrel.
What did I call her? The something blur.
You called her something the blur. I can't remember.
We'll have to go back and look
I don't know. Now we're going to have to watch it again and see.
Yeah, we should get her that shirt.
But I love what they're doing. I love what, she is a total team player in the realest sense of the word, and not just within her own business, but the community. I'm glad we finally got her to come on.
Yeah, and I love the airport. I just love everything about her. What she's doing, I love. It's like, yes. Those are all yeses, right? And it's like, so So we are going to bring her on again. Yeah. There is one other that I want to bring on again. Yeah. And you know who that is, right?
No.
Yeah, come on.
Are you going to say it?
Iron Man.
Oh, yeah. He has to come back
He has to come back.
Isn't that coming up?
In October.
Yeah.
He completes it in October. And so we'll be bringing Officer Brian Danielson back. I've talked to him. I was over at the hospital and saw him.
How's the training going?
And he is loving it. Awesome. He is just like eating it up. And then the other officer. Yeah. She's rocking and rolling right with him now.
That's and so cool.
Yeah, so we're going to be bringing them back. But anyway, we got to get out of here. But I do want to mention, thank you guys for watching. You can hit the subscribe button down there. But leave a comment for Kelly and I. Maybe there's somebody that you know. We've got different people that we've met. They don't have to be a community leader necessarily or a business owner or, because they're just, everybody's interesting. But here, honestly, Kelly and I really do. We want to find out and introduce you to the people in a way that you might not see them in every day.
Well, and I think good people, like good, genuine people that, we all have stories, and it's neat to kind of get to know the person behind, the story behind the person, if you will.
Yeah, right here in your neighborhood. Thanks again for watching. Fish and Minnow. I got this feeling at some point it's going to be called Minnow and the Fish. It's like those bands, how they...
We're going to get you like a smaller chair.
I'll be sitting on the floor before this is
you'll be sitting on a stool.
So anyway, we want to give special credit to our buddy Kurt, who faithfully comes in here and puts up with us.
I know. He tolerates us. Kurt, you're the best.
Yeah. So anyway, looking forward to the next time. You never know who's going to be next. But again, hit the... I don't think we have a like button.
You can like the video, but you hit the subscribe and
subscribe, and then that way you'll always know when we post.
Yeah.